Are you a fan of chocolates? If yes, today we are Zaidi Ice Cream. We are about to find out how they make their famous chocolate ice cream. Yes, it is an organic ice cream that is made here, but we'll show you the simplest ways on how best you can enjoy this delicious chocolate ice cream from Zaidi Ice Cream. My name is Jifunze. This is Culinary Delights. We are at Zaidi Ice Cream right here in Dar es Salaam. So just like what I told you earlier, today we are at Zaidi Ice Cream one more time because we want to learn more about ice creams. There's a lot to learn for sure. And Dr. Ann Atwater, she's with me here today, and I'm sure there's a lot that we're going to learn from this episode because Zaidi Ice Cream, wow, ni Zaidia Ice Cream, meaning they don't just make ice creams and they don't just sell ice creams. They do more than that because it's a community. It's a Tanzanian community that we are supporting, from our local farmers to the markets and to the final product, which is the ice cream. Right. Now, speaking of ice cream, you know, I really wish to know how was it when you made the ice cream for the first time?
How was it when I made ice cream for the first time? Mm-hmm. I think I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. The experience of making it, does it have a lot of do's and don'ts, like trials and errors, more like baking?
That's a hard question. It's a good question. We make our own recipes. So that has trial and error in it. You know, you make your recipe, you think you know what you're doing, and then you taste it and I think it can be a little bitter. So it can be it's trial and error to make a new recipe, but you know, also once you have your recipe, you follow it like you do with baking.
Do you remember when was the first time we made ice cream, like back in the days when
that was so long ago? I remember I made it, my grandparents made it, and they put fruits and milk, and we put it in an old-fashioned ice cream maker with salt. Mm-hmm. Salt and water.
Wow.
And then we all the grandchildren ate it. So that's a big memory in my life. But when I made it the first time myself, mm-hmm. I made a lemon sherbet mm-hmm. in my mother's kitchen. And it was super exciting. Super exciting. You know, it was so lemony and also a little sweet, and then it was something the whole family enjoyed. So for me, ice cream has always been a big kind of a family and a happy occasion.
Oh yeah? So I'm sure even in making it, it's a lot of fun.
It is fun. Always fun, and there's a big reward. You know, you get to taste it. You have to taste it at the end.
For sure. Yeah. But when you talk about ice cream, many of us, Tanzania kawaida, tukiongelea ice cream, tunajua it's a combination of juice, na maziwa, na sukari, and basically that's it. And we grew up eating that as ice cream. But the reality of ice cream is something completely different. What makes a complete ice cream to you now as a professional?
I think, you know, there's a lot of different levels of anything, including ice cream. So the ice cream you make at home, like we showed you in a previous session, mm-hmm. or the simple ice cream I first made, which was lemon sherbet, these are legitimate. You know, they're delicious and they're fun and everything. But when you make it commercially, it gets to a different level. And that's what we're going to show you today, is how when we make commercial ice cream. Now in Tanzania, the ingredients are so delicious and so perfect that you don't have to worry a lot about adding flavor and doing all this stuff. Mm-hmm. We have super ingredients here, so the ice cream making becomes a bit simpler. See, because we're not using outside chemicals, we're not using those things, we're just using things that are here.
Okay, and since we are at Zaidi Ice Cream, it's all about organic ice creams. The fruits are all in season. Whatever that you have around, whenever you meet a Zaidi Ice Cream freezer, you have to know that whatever you find over there, it's going to be 100% organic and it's going to be in season. Now, speaking of organic, you know, ice cream, some people will be like, oh, well, won't be fun. You know, they might not be interesting. So organic ice creams, what's so special about them? Are they fun? Are they tasty? Are they nice? Are they full of diets?
Organic means that it's grown in a way that is compatible with agriculture working with the earth. So even when you talk about organic, you're even going down to the quality of the soil. If you're talking in terms of milk, you're talking in terms of how are the cows treated? How are the workers treated? All of those things go into organic because the idea behind organic is to make a sustainable agriculture that is beneficial to the earth as well as to us people eating it. So the benefits go very far. You know, there's very few pesticides used, and those will be not human-made chemicals, not carcinogenic. So there's nothing really poisonous going into the ingredients that go into the ice cream. Organic, when you eat it, it's ice cream. We're making ice cream that's thinking about the ecology of Tanzania, of the world, thinking of the workers, thinking of our customers. Are we giving you the safest, healthiest food that we can? And when you say organic, the answer is yes. Now the other thing you want to think about is all natural. What does that mean? We don't really know. But one thing all natural does mean is that there's not a lot of human-made chemicals in it. So these are actually products that are much better for you than highly processed foods that include a lot of chemicals. And these chemicals, even though they're allowed in the food, we're finding they're not good for you. You know, some of them are cancerous. Some of them really are bringing upon ADHD, which is this very kind of, with children, this very excitable way of being. So these are things that we're discovering as we learn about using chemicals in food. So people are really pulling back. Even now the United States is just trying to make it so no more false dyes in the food. Now Europe already has this. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now that means the word organic doesn't mean that these ice creams are going to be full of nutritious considerations. You know, like when you talk of organic, we're expecting it to be whole food, which is beneficial to us. Nothing extravaganza.
Yeah, I think we can say that. So when we make strawberry, for example, then we're getting real strawberries. And we're putting real fruit into the ice cream. Okay, this is different than if you have a little, a bottle of something that's red and might taste like strawberries, and then you pour it in. It comes out pink. It might taste like something, but it's not the same for your health or for anything else as putting in real strawberries.
Okay, so one among the most popular ice creams that you make is the chocolate ice cream. Apart from all of them, that's for me, that's my take, that chocolate is one among the most popular ice creams. Although we know vanilla is the king and the queen of all the ice creams in the world. And we'll be like, okay, chocolate ice cream, that sounds interesting and looks so tasty. But how is it made?
A chocolate ice cream, actually, I want to go back again to pointing out to the ice creams that are easy to make in Tanzania. And that is almost all ice cream. So we have vanilla here, fresh. We have cocoa and chocolate powder here, fresh. We have coffee here. These are all complicated flavors that we have really at our ease here in Tanzania. So when you speak about chocolate, it's actually our simplest ice cream. And this is very common when you're making organic chocolate ice cream. You use cocoa, you use sugar, and you use milk. That's it. The kick is that they have to be super high quality. If they're not, if you're using just 3 ingredients and it's not high quality, you end up with something that's not nice. So fortunately for us in Tanzania, the quality is very high. So we can keep things sometimes simple.
Okay, so as we're keeping things simple, is it also simple in the commercial area? When we want to make the ice creams for commercial, is it also that simple?
Well, it's simple once you get the expensive machine.
Okay.
So we'll show you how we do that. But it's, you know, ice cream, You can make it at home in small batches, and even in the big machine, the expensive machine, it's still just being turned around. But they're doing it with special paddles and by electricity, and it gets up to a certain temperature. It's just more regulated. And sometimes more air is put in, and it comes out smoother and creamier. But it's basically the same.
Okay. Now, speaking of organic Tanzanian ingredients and ice cream making, what has been the most interesting ingredient to work with?
Well,
so far,
they're all interesting because the most difficult so far has been coffee. And I don't think we've conquered that yet because it seems to have its own way of being and it's not following the recipe. Another one that's been really interesting for us is cinnamon. Now we have to have a consistent cinnamon. We have to have that. We can't have our customers saying, oh, but last week it was different than that. You know, it doesn't, people don't like that. So we have to have a consistent flavor, and it's been really hard with cinnamon. So, for example, I think there's different types of cinnamon. I think perhaps Zanzibar cinnamon is different than Tanga cinnamon. This could be the soil or the conditions of the weather or the trees, but it's been a little bit interesting noting that not all cinnamon is the same, and then searching for the special taste that we want.
That you want.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the term premium quality ingredients that Zaidi ice cream is all about, in making a chocolate ice cream, you know, I'm trying to wonder, like, how do you manage to collect such quality ingredients from Tanzanian soil?
Yeah, well, for one thing, we know basically Tanzanian ingredients are very super. So then we have to go a little bit beyond that because our ice cream that gets tested by Tanzania Bureau of Standards, and you have to pass the microbiological tests as well as mold and everything else. So with chocolate, it's very complicated, and it goes through a fermentation process. So that has to be controlled if it's not going to be contaminated. So we started by using cocoa from Morogoro, organic cocoa, but from very small producers. And I think they didn't have control over the fermentation process. And TBS said, no, you can't use this. This has mold in it. So then we went on, you know, we tried different others. We get them tested at Tirdo. Yeah, they're close by. And they test them. So it's a simple process now. It's not cheap, but it's simple. And so now we found a cocoa powder from a local company in Kilimanjaro named Suvacor, and that's what we're using now.
Okay.
Should we get the package?
No,
Sure.
we'll show it in the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where you get your...
Yeah, and we've had that tested, and so yeah, we feel confident about that.
How many regions grows cocoa in Tanzania?
I don't know the exact number, but for sure Morogoro has beautiful cocoa, Kayla has beautiful cocoa, Kilimanjaro has beautiful cocoa. Any place, I think, with mountains. So you won't find it down here on the coast. Yeah.
So it's all about the highlands and the southern highlands.
Exactly.
That's where you
because
find
cocoa first came from South America and from moist regions in South America, so that's what it wants when it leaves.
I believe when you're making your chocolate ice cream, your combination also includes some coffee in it, because I think chocolate and coffee goes well together.
She's thinking of baking.
I'm thinking of baking. Is it the same with ice cream?
Yes, it does go together. And they're both super complicated flavors. You know, they're very, very complicated flavors, so which is wonderful. And it means also that we can just use, we don't need many different flavors because they're so complicated in themselves. Now, if you go to to an ice cream store, you'll often see many different kinds of chocolate because people love chocolate. They want chocolate with nuts, they want chocolate with chocolate chips, they want light chocolate, dark chocolate, vegan chocolate, you know, so they want many different kinds of chocolate, so you'll see that. If you use coffee and chocolate, you get mocha. Now, mocha's fantastic.
That's something else.
So it's a bit of something else, but it's true, they go together very well.
Okay, so chocolate means cocoa, milk, and a bit of vanilla and
Can,
sugar.
but we don't do it much because you don't taste it.
You don't taste it. Oh, great. Now, so it's all about 3 key ingredients, and those are the basic ones we're going to work on today. I'm super excited. But there are some entrepreneurs out there who'll be like, okay, I would wish to indulge into, making ice cream, and they'll be like, oh, is it difficult to indulge into such kind of, entrepreneurship?
I would say the refrigeration is a problem, and the machine is not cheap. That's the only
Those are the only
issue,
things.
and you have to keep it frozen at all times because, as you know, ice cream when it melts, it never recovers.
Yeah.
You don't get a nice ice cream; you just get something kind of icy.
Yeah.
Maybe you use for milkshakes or something like that. So, the only problem with producing ice cream in Tanzania is electricity problem, and then there's some substantial startup costs with the machine. Yeah.
Those are the only tricky parts.
I think so.
And then the rest, making ice cream, is just as simple as ABC.
Ice cream is simple to make in a way, but you have to do everything just so. And the most important thing in making ice cream is cleanliness. So you actually spend more time cleaning things and cleaning the tools than you do actually making the ice cream.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if people want to do small, medium business with ice cream, it's possible. But go with CEDO, and they will give you good guidance, including a course, 2-week-long course, that teaches us about cleanliness, bacteria, how you shouldn't even breathe on it because you have bacteria in your mouth that can land on the ice cream and then somebody else gets sick. It's like that. So that's the most important thing.
Okay.
There's many ways that ice cream can taste good.
So, how long does it take for us to go in the kitchen and
Yeah.
make the chocolate ice
Yep.
cream and finally taste it?
Yep, and you're going to
How long
go
does it
around. Oh, how long does it take to
In
make the
it,
ice cream?
Yeah.
We have 2 steps we'll show you today. Usually takes about a day, okay? Because we make it on the stove, and then we cool it and put it in the fridge so it can all kind of come together and mellow. And then the next day we'll put it in the processing machine. But today we've done some of the work already, and we'll show you how to make the ice cream on the stove. And then we have another ice cream that's sitting in the freezer, and we'll use that to take you into the processing.
Great,
Yeah.
great. I know you have varieties of chocolate ice cream. We don't only have one. So just kindly mention the chocolate varieties you have here.
Oh, we're getting more and more.
Okay.
We have what we call chocolate milk, and then we had a strong demand for vegan. Now, vegan is no animals, so no honey, no milk, nothing to do with animals. So we have a dark chocolate with a coconut base. Now we actually also had people ask, please, we want stracciatella. I'm like, what's stracciatella? Well, that's
that?
vanilla ice cream with chocolate bits.
Oh.
So you can even see there, we're making now a stracciatella. You put this chocolate on the top and mix it in. So I could say we have 3.
Interesting.
But then we have another experiment where we're mixing chocolate and vanilla together. So it's sort of a light chocolate.
Oh, nice.
And then, of course, we sometimes make mocha, coffee and chocolate together. Nice. So chocolate is so popular that any ice cream company will have several.
We'll have several, okay.
And it's so much fun to play with because chocolate is this complicated ingredient. So there's a lot of leeway, you see, to make it exciting. Yeah.
Great, okay. So I think let's go into the kitchen and see how you make that delicious chocolate ice cream of yours. We're inside Zaidi Ice Cream Factory, and now it's about to go down, and I'd love to see how you make the ice cream, honestly, especially the chocolate ice cream. Now, basically, you've already mentioned the 3 ingredients, but you can just share with us the measurements and stuff, and then you can get ready to
Here we have our milk. Okay, we saw a lot of cream in this milk.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put this on the stove. And this is cold and it's starting to heat now, okay? Now, we have our sugar. Now, people these days are very worried about sugar.
Yeah.
And they're mostly worried about refined sugar. You know, this very white sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. This may not even be cane sugar. It might be beet sugar. It might be corn, well, probably beet. But this is from Mtibwa. This is from Morogoro. And you can see this sugar, it's not that refined. This is evaporated cane juice. That's it. It's evaporated, that's all. So this is very, not very refined sugar, but it's very delicious. You know, it has an extra flavor because the flavor has not been taken out. So we're going to add this.
To the milk.
Yep, to our milk.
Okay.
Now we're going to allow this to get a little bit warm, okay, and then we'll add some of the warm milk to the cocoa powder.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to stir this a little bit.
So the chocolate ice cream making procedure, it involves cooking.
Yes, it does. It does. You know, and there's so few ingredients here. It really depends on how you treat the ingredients. You know, you can't just throw them all together and expect to get something fantastic. So we treat them, you know, very carefully. We talked about cleanliness being very important, and part of that big worry is microbiology. So this will be heated. This is raw milk. We're heating it to be pasteurized, and pasteurization occurs at about 75, 80 degrees centigrade. So this will heat until that. Then it'll stay about 10 minutes and then cool down. Pasteurization, we put in a thermometer. Okay, so we just tuck this thermometer here, make sure that it's there.
Okay.
You can see now it's looking more like the chocolate mix that we put, chocolate mix. And this will be finished when it gets to 75 degrees. And right now it's at 50. So a little bit longer. But it's basically done. Excuse me. You see?
So once,
how beautiful?
Okay, so after it has been well cooked, we'll leave it to cool for how long before we go and put it in the machine?
We will process this tomorrow because we're going to let it cool. Then we'll put it into the refrigerator overnight, and then tomorrow we'll process it.
Great.
So in the night, it has time for all the ingredients to come together as one.
Interesting. Can I take a video of that?
And you can see that we'll put the ice cream inside and it'll go round and round. You see what I mean? It'll go round and round at a certain temperature for about 20 minutes, then we can pull it out. But a lot is happening with this. Okay. So she's going to pour, we're going to pour the mix that we made into this. Excellent. It looks delicious already, eh?
Yeah. Perfect. Nice.
Great. This is 10 liters.
Wow.
Delish. Okay, super. Now we're going to close the lid, okay? And then there's different styles of ice cream we can make, you see? But we're making a gelato style, okay? We're not making sorbet. We're not making slush fruit or gelato crystal or fruit crystal. No, we're not making those things. We're making gelato, okay?
So it will take how long?
This will be about 20 minutes. So this is, this is smart machine. And it knows when it's done, it knows when it's cold enough. And we can read it here a little bit. When it gets to 58, it'll be set. Right now it's at 12. Okay, so it's going to keep spinning, keep getting colder, whipping, until it reaches the set of 58, and then we'll take it out.
Right. After 20 minutes, and our chocolate ice cream is here.
Yeah, here it is.
Great.
And remember, it took a whole day. It took a whole day before we got to the 20 minutes. But here we are, and this is, you're going to be so happy when you taste this.
Oh yeah. So we have to let it like harden or something?
You can, but right now we're going to eat it. It's also super delicious.
So it is ready to eat right away.
Ready.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If you're going to sell it in a package, you have to harden it.
Oh yeah.
And it's proper to harden it, which is just putting it in, making it cold for a while. So we do that, but we're also going to, it's so nice like this.
Great. Have you ever seen how ice cream cone is made? Well, it's very simple. Hapa Zaidi Ice Cream tuko na Sebastian, he's the one in charge kwa ajili ya kutengeneza ice cream cone. Mahitaji ya kutengeneza inabidi uwe na butter ambayo inakuwa na special recipe, na inabidi uwe na mashine ya kuweza kutengeneza hiyo kama waffle. And then baada ya hapo ni technique inahitajika hapo ya kukunja ili uweze kupata hizo shape ya cone yenyewe. Na it's very tricky. Usione hivi kafikiri ni rahisi. So this is how ice cream cone is made. So here goes the moment of truth.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow. Yum. Oh my goodness, this is so light. It's so rich in flavor. The taste of chocolate is 100% cocoa, like real chocolate.
Yeah, true.
And the milk, that cream is amazing. It tastes really good into the ice cream. And I think leaving it to stay for the whole night really makes all these flavors blend well together. So that the combination will be just one, which is chocolate.
Yes, there you go.
That's it.
Right. Cheers.
Wow, I love this.
Cool. Good.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to come into the factory and see how you make your fantastic and delicious chocolate ice creams, but also giving us a tour of the factory. It's been amazing. It's been so real. We have really learned a lot in terms of knowing how the factory works, knowing how to really make ice cream at home, but sharing with us the premium quality ingredients from Tanzania that we must be all so proud of. So how can people get hold of you?
Yeah.
So how can people find you?
The best way to find us is through Instagram or Facebook, and you're always welcome here to the Zaidi Ice Cream Cafe. We have a little nature path you can go on as well. So feel welcome. We're open every day from 11 to 9. I'd also like to say thank you very much for coming. And it's been it's been lovely having you here. And there's something extra smooth about you, and that we gave you so many secrets.
Don't worry, your secrets is safe with me, and everybody knows that. You can speak to me through my email address, which is culinary.delights@capitaltv.co.tz. You can also speak to me through khadija.zimbwe@capitaltv.co.tz. You can watch this program over and over again through our YouTube channel, which is Capital Television Tanzania. Until next time, we say bon appetit.